Alright, we are back with Porterverse Lore Rambling Season 3. This time it is the finale. This will be the final episode of 2024. I don't really have much else to say, but without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1. The events of the episode Something in the Air take place in 1977. Henry will be sent down the flooded coastal bypass near Knapford and fly into the sea. Thankfully, the flooded portion of the line was next to a sandbar, so he wasn't fully submerged. And due to him sitting in the water during the 16-hour salvage operation, he ended up having his wheels all replaced. Thankfully, his new wheels were made swiftly, and Henry returned to service only a few weeks later. Number 2. Given that MSR Stanley, or as they call him Stanford, and Smudger both exist in the Porterverse, the kind of begs question of which one of them was turned into the generator. Well, ultimately, it was Smudger that got turned into the generator. His frequent accidents, similar to Stanford, and constant derailments led to him needing so many new parts, and he was ultimately taken out of service after a few years. By the time of his withdrawal, most of his parts were unpainted and didn't really match really, and he was in quite the state. Smudger was confirmed to have been killed during the Battle of Britain in 1940, and he was buried under the rubble resulting in the bombing raids. That last part was unintentionally discovered by the search party looking for Duke decades later. The search party would pay their respects to the fallen engine before moving on. Number 3. At one point, Whiff was repainted into Scruff's bright lime livery. This didn't last long, however, as the general reception was mostly negative. And after about a year and a half or so, Whiff was repainted back into his original livery, which was a much darker shaded green. However, Scruff will ultimately keep his brighter livery. Number 4. The Sodor Waste Management Company would start a recycling program in 2000. This was ahead of its time, considering that the mainland will only start their mainstream recycling program in 2003. The SWMC built separate plants next to the original and rolled out a fleet of garbage trucks meant for recycling. But now the Sodor Waste Management Company now had garbage trucks and recycling trucks. And they have Whiff and Scruff operate their garbage plant and the recycling plant in tandem. Number 5. I know I've gone back and forth on what the exact basis of Riff and Jiff are in the Porterverse. Since they are technically freelance designs, especially with the All Engines Go design philosophy, it's hard to pinpoint what they can be. I originally said they were American diesel trams, custom built for the tramway, and then I shifted to them being Y1 Steam Sentinels. But now I feel like I've come across a basis that's suitable for their characters. Riff and Jiff are now officially Y10 Steam Sentinels. Still in the same Sentinel family, but their overall look is a little more boxy and tram-like. Number 6. Wild Express Studios, Sodor's largest independent film studio, has been trying to get the rights to make a Godzilla film of their own for years now. You see, much of Sodor's population happens to be big fans of the Godzilla franchise. This includes much of the production teams on Wild Express. Toho has been hesitant on granting them permission, however, as they are very busily handling their own in-house Godzilla movies, and also making sure that Warner Brothers and Legendary don't mess up their characters. Wild Express Studios still has hope, however, and they occasionally try to negotiate a deal, but as of now, nothing has been made official just yet. Number 7. Following the whole incident regarding Bulstrode and all the trucks falling into him, he was grounded on a beach, where the children all play around him, and he will remain there for almost 20 years straight, just rusting away and also corroding away from the saltwater on the beach. That was until the Sodor Transportation Museum came across him and rescued him. By this point, Bulstrode had quite the change of heart and was very grateful to be saved. He was fully cosmetically restored and put on display in the museum, where you can still find him to this very day. With that, we have reached the end of Porterverse Lore Rambling Season 3. I'm not gonna lie, this one was pretty difficult to write, as I don't want to overthink certain aspects of this AU, as I feel the open-endedness allows for more creative storytelling and also just makes it more fun, you know? I don't really have any more updates to share at the moment, so we'll just get into the outro. Thank you all very much for watching this episode of Porterverse Lore Ramblings, and I shall see you all same time next week.